I stared at my phone for exactly 30 seconds before replying. I'm at my mom's for a few days. Need space. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. 6 years of marriage, and this is what I get. A text message, not even a phone call. Just 14 words that were supposed to explain why she wasn't coming home. Okay, I typed back. Take your time. Short, simple. The kind of response that doesn't invite follow-up questions. Because here's what I learned in my 10 years as an insurance adjuster. When people lie, they talk too much. They over-explain. They fill silence with words that don't match up. And my wife, Jennifer, she was filling her text with exactly the wrong kind of silence. Her mom lived in Tampa. We lived in Charlotte. That's a 7-hour drive. Jennifer hated driving more than 2 hours at a stretch. She always flew when visiting her parents, always booked the same afternoon Delta flight, always texted me the gate number. This time, nothing. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I set my phone on the kitchen counter and looked around our apartment. The place felt different now, smaller somehow. The wedding photo on the bookshelf seemed to be mocking me. Young, stupid us. I was 24 in that picture. She was 23. We thought we had everything figured out. I walked to the bedroom. Her closet was missing the purple overnight bag, the one she used for gym visits, not week-long trips. The big suitcase sat untouched on the top shelf. I checked the bathroom. Toothbrush gone, contact lens solution gone, but her expensive face cream was still there, the one she never traveled without because she claimed the Florida humidity made her skin terrible. People are predictable until they're not. I sat on the edge of our bed and opened my phone again. We shared a cell phone plan, one of those family deals that seemed smart when money was tight. What didn't seem smart was that I could log into the account portal and see basic location data. Jennifer had shown me how to use it last year when she was worried about me driving in a snowstorm. Now I was about to use it for something completely different. I pulled up the account, clicked her number, waited for the map to load. The little blue dot appeared right where I expected it wouldn't be. Downtown Charlotte, not Tampa. Not even close. The pin dropped on a hotel, the Marriott on Trade Street. I zoomed in. The timestamp read 9:47 p.m. last night, Tuesday night. My wife was spending her need space moment at a hotel 15 minutes from our apartment. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I didn't drive to the hotel and bang on doors until I found her. That's what the old version of me would have done. The version that believed in confrontation and explanations and talking things through like adults who respected each other. This version of me just screenshot the location and opened my laptop. I spent the next hour researching private investigators in Charlotte, divorce lawyers in Charlotte, North Carolina divorce law, adultery clauses, asset division, everything I could find. The internet is an amazing place when you're trying to figure out how to systematically dismantle your life. By midnight, I had a list of 5 investigators and 7 attorneys. I sent inquiry emails to all of them. Then I went to bed and slept better than I had in weeks. There's something clarifying about knowing exactly where you stand, even when where you stand is on the edge of a cliff. Jennifer texted me Wednesday morning at 8:15 a.m. Good morning. Hope you slept well, I replied. You too. She sent back a smiley face emoji. I stared at it for a long time. How easy it was for her to lie, how comfortable she seemed with it, like it was just another part of her day. Wake up, brush teeth, send a cheerful text to husband, continue affair. 3 investigators responded to my emails by noon. I called the first one back during my lunch break. I hired a private investigator at 10:30 a.m. Thursday morning. His name was Dale Porter, and his office was in a strip mall next to a dry cleaner and a tax preparation place. The interior smelled like coffee and old carpet. He was maybe 50 with gray haircut, military short, and the kind of face that blends into crowds. Perfect for his job. "What's the situation?" he asked, gesturing for me to sit in a worn leather chair across from his desk. "My wife told me she's at her mother's house in Tampa. She's actually at the Marriott downtown. I need to know why." Dale didn't blink, didn't look surprised, didn't show any reaction at all. "You want surveillance?" "I want documentation, photos, timeline, everything legal and admissible in court." "Divorce case?" "Not yet, but probably soon." He pulled out a yellow legal pad and started taking notes. "How long has she been at this hotel?" "At least 2 nights, maybe longer. I only checked the location data yesterday." "You have access to her phone records?" "We're on the same family plan. I can see basic location data and call logs." "Good. That helps. What's your wife's name?" "Jennifer Mitchell. She's a dental hygienist, works at Bright Smiles on Providence Road." Dale wrote it down. "You suspect she's meeting someone?" "I don't suspect, I know, I just need proof." "Fair enough. My rate is $75 an hour plus expenses. I'll need a retainer of $1,500 for 2 days of work. If it takes less time, I refund the difference. If it takes more, we renegotiate." I pulled out my wallet and handed him my credit card. He ran it through an old machine that made a grinding sound. "I'll start today," Dale said. "I'll send you updates every 12 hours unless something urgent comes up. All photos will be time-stamped and geotagged. Everything admissible." "Perfect. One more thing." Dale looked up from his notepad. "You sure you want to do this? Once you have the proof, you can't unknow it. Some people prefer uncertainty. I prefer truth." Dale nodded. "Good answer. I'll be in touch." I went back to work like nothing was wrong. Showed up to my cubicle at Piedmont Insurance, processed claims, ate lunch at my desk. My coworker Brian stopped by around 2 p.m. "Hey man, you okay? You seem off," he said. "Just a headache. Long week. It's only Thursday." "Exactly." He laughed and walked away. Brian was a good guy. We'd worked together for 3 years, grabbed beers sometimes after work, talked about sports and movies and normal things that normal people talked about. I wondered what he'd think if he knew what I was really doing during my lunch break. The thing about betrayal is that it doesn't hit you all at once. It's not like a car crash where you see the impact coming and brace for it. It's slower, more insidious, like carbon monoxide poisoning. You don't notice it until you can't breathe anymore. And by then you're already halfway gone. Jennifer texted me twice that afternoon. "Hope work is going okay." "Miss you," I replied with thumbs-up emojis. She sent back hearts. Little red hearts. The same hearts she probably sent to whoever she was meeting at that hotel. By 6:30 p.m., Dale called me. "Got something?" He said. "You free to meet?" "Where?" "There's a diner on Independence Boulevard, corner of Independence and Sharon Amity. Can you be there in 20 minutes? I'll be there in 15. I made it in 12. Dale was sitting in a booth at the back nursing a cup of coffee. I slid in across from him. He didn't waste time with small talk, just slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside were photos, lots of them, all printed in color on glossy paper, all time-stamped in the bottom right corner. Jennifer walking into the Marriott, timestamp 8:23 p.m., Tuesday night. She was wearing jeans and a green sweater I bought her last Christmas. A man walking in behind her. Tall, dark hair, business casual, khaki pants, blue button-down shirt, expensive-looking watch. Timestamp 8:26 p.m., both of them in the elevator, her hand on his arm, both smiling. Timestamp 8:31 p.m., the elevator doors closing. Timestamp 8:32 p.m. I checked the registry, Dale said quietly. Room 167 booked under his name. Trevor Walsh, 34 years old, works in pharmaceutical sales for a company called MedTech Solutions. Married, 2 kids, lives in Matthews. I stared at the photo of them in the elevator. Jennifer was smiling. Not her polite smile, the one she used for waiters and checkout clerks. Her real smile. The one I used to think was just for me, the one that made her eyes crinkle at the corners. "How long you want me to keep watching?" Dale asked. "Through tomorrow." "I need patterns, not just one night." "You got it. Same rate applies." "That's fine." Dale pulled out another photo. This one showed Trevor Walsh getting out of a silver BMW in the hotel parking lot. I ran his plates. Car is registered to MedTech Solutions Company vehicle. He's using his work car to meet your wife. I almost laughed. The stupidity of it, the carelessness, using a company car for an affair, parking it in a hotel lot where anyone could see, where security cameras could record everything. "One more thing," Dale said. I called the hotel, pretended to be Trevor Walsh, said I needed to confirm my reservation for tonight. Desk clerk told me room 167 was already booked under my name through Sunday. Sunday. So she's planning to stay through the weekend. Looks like it. I put the photos back in the envelope. "Send me everything digital too. I want backups. Will do. I'll email you by tonight." I drove home and sat in my car for 20 minutes before going inside. The apartment felt like a museum now. Everything in its place, everything clean and organized and completely fake. I walked through each room, seeing it differently. The couch where we watched TV together. The bed where we slept together. The kitchen table where we ate breakfast together. All of it was a performance. A play where I didn't know I was the only one following the script. I opened my laptop and created a folder on my desktop, named it Evidence. Started organizing the photos by timestamp. Then I opened another window and searched for divorce attorneys in Charlotte, North Carolina. North Carolina is what they call a no-fault state, which means you can file for divorce without proving your spouse did something wrong. You just have to be separated for a year and then you can dissolve the marriage. But here's the thing. People don't always know. Fault still matters when dividing assets. Adultery is one of the big exceptions. If you can prove it, the judge can punish the cheating spouse during property division. Alimony can be affected. Everything changes when you can prove fault. I bookmarked 5 law firms and sent consultation requests to all of them. Then I made myself a sandwich and watched a basketball game on TV. The Hornets were playing the Lakers. Charlotte lost by 12 points. I didn't care. Didn't even really watch. Just needed the noise to fill the apartment. Dale sent me a second batch of photos Friday evening. I was sitting in my car outside a Mexican restaurant eating a burrito I didn't want when the email came through. Same pattern. Jennifer arrived at the hotel at 8:15 p.m. Thursday night. Different outfit this time. Black dress, heels, makeup done up like she was going somewhere nice. Trevor showed up at 8:20 p.m. Same khakis, different shirt. They went upstairs. The lobby security camera caught them checking in, though checking in is generous. Trevor already had the key. Jennifer just walked beside him like she'd done it 100 times before. Maybe she had. There were more photos from Friday morning. Jennifer leaving the hotel at 6:45 a.m., hair wet, wearing yoga pants and a hoodie, looking around the parking lot like she was checking for witnesses. Getting into her car, our car, the Honda Civic we bought together 3 years ago, and driving away. Dale had followed her. She went straight to work, arrived at Bright Smiles at 7:30 a.m. Went inside, normal day, normal life. Like she hadn't spent the night in a hotel room with someone else's husband. The email included video files, too. Lobby footage Dale had somehow acquired from the hotel. I didn't ask how. I just watched it. Watched Jennifer and Trevor walk through the lobby. Watched them wait for the elevator. Watched them get in. Watched the doors close. There was something almost boring about it. No dramatic passion, no movie moment, no sweeping romantic gesture, just 2 people walking into a hotel like they were going to a business meeting. I forwarded everything to my personal email, then to a cloud backup service, then to a USB drive I kept in my desk drawer. Redundancy, documentation, evidence. I met with an attorney named Patricia Holloway on Friday at 11:01 a.m. I'd taken a sick day from work, told my supervisor I had food poisoning. He didn't question it. Patricia's office was downtown in a modern building with glass walls and chrome fixtures, expensive without being obnoxious. Her receptionist offered me coffee. I declined. My stomach hadn't been right for days. Patricia was mid-40s, sharp suit, sharper eyes. She shook my hand with a firm grip and gestured for me to sit in a chair across from her desk. Walk me through it, she said, pulling out a legal pad identical to Dale's. I laid out the timeline, the text message about Tampa, the location data showing Charlotte, the hotel, the photos, the pattern, everything organized chronologically. Patricia took notes without interrupting. When I finished, she looked up. How long have you been married? 6 years next month. We got married young. I was 24. She was 23. Any kids? No. We talked about it. Decided to wait until we were more financially stable. Joint assets? Bank account with about $18,000 in it. Car loan in both names. We owe about $7,000. We rent our apartment, so no house, some furniture, normal stuff. Your wife work? She's a dental hygienist at a practice on Providence Road. Makes about $42,000 a year. I make $56,000 working insurance claims. Patricia nodded, writing everything down. Life insurance policies, basic ones through our jobs, $50,000 each. Retirement accounts. I have a 401k through work with about $30,000 in it. She has something similar, maybe $25,000. And you have documentation of her affair, photos, video. I pulled out my phone and opened the folder, showed her everything Dale had sent. She studied each photo carefully, zooming in on the timestamps. This is good, Patricia said, very good. Clear timestamps, identifiable location, identifiable people. This is exactly what I need. What happens now? Patricia leaned back in her chair. North Carolina allows me to request attorney's fees from the other party if we can prove fault. Adultery qualifies. We file for absolute divorce, not separation. We submit these photos as evidence. If her attorney contests it, we depose Mr. Trevor Walsh. We subpoena hotel records. We make it very clear that contesting will only make things worse for her. What about assets? With this evidence, I can argue for a favorable split. The judge has discretion in cases of adultery. We could potentially get a 60-40 split, maybe even 70-30, depending on the judge. Plus attorney's fees, plus we can ask for alimony from her if we frame it right. I don't want alimony. I just want what's fair, what I'm entitled to. Patricia smiled. Not a kind smile, a lawyer smile. The smile of someone who enjoys their job. Fair is subjective. Entitled is legal. Let's focus on entitled. We spent the next 90 minutes going through strategy. Patricia explained the process step by step. File for absolute divorce. Submit evidence. Serve Jennifer with papers. Wait for her response. Proceed based on whether she contests. If she contests, discovery phase, depositions, more evidence. If she doesn't contest, negotiate settlement. If negotiation fails, go to trial. How long does this take? I asked. If she doesn't contest and we settle quickly, maybe 3 months. If she fights, it could be a year or more, but with this evidence, I don't think she'll fight. Her attorney will advise her to settle. When do you want to serve her? Patricia asked, tapping her pen against her notepad. I thought about it. Jennifer was supposed to be at her mom's house through Sunday. That gave me 2 more days of her lying directly to my face via text message. Tomorrow, I said, Saturday at the hotel while she's still there. Patricia raised an eyebrow. That's aggressive. That's the point. It'll be public. Hotel guests will see. Staff will see. It could embarrass her significantly. Good. Patricia studied me for a moment. You're sure? Because once we do this, there's no walking it back. Service of papers is official, legal, final, I'm sure. She picked up her phone and called someone. Kim, it's Patricia. I need you tomorrow, Saturday, 2 p.m., hotel service. She gave Kim the address and room number, hung up, looked back at me. My process server will handle it. She's a former paralegal, very professional. She'll knock on the door, identify herself, serve the papers, document everything. Will she take photos? She wears a body camera. Everything is recorded, timestamp, audio, video, all admissible. Perfect. Patricia pulled out a retainer agreement. My fee is $300 an hour. I'll need a retainer of $3,000 to start. That covers initial filing, service of papers, and preliminary negotiations. If we go to trial, costs will increase. I signed the agreement and wrote a check. $3,000 worth every penny. This is going to get ugly, Patricia warned as I stood to leave. Your wife will call you, text you, email you. She'll try to explain, try to negotiate, try to get you to drop this. Don't engage, don't respond. Let me handle all communication through her attorney. Once she hires one, I won't respond. Good. Also, change your locks today. She still has keys to your apartment, right? Right. Change them. I don't want her showing up and claiming you locked her out illegally. We'll argue abandonment. She left voluntarily. Told you she was going to Tampa, didn't come home. That gives you legal grounds to secure the residence. I nodded. Made a mental note to call a locksmith. One more thing, Patricia said. Do you know if this Trevor Walsh is married? He is. 2 kids. Do you want me to inform his wife? I thought about it. Thought about Trevor Walsh's wife sitting at home with her 2 kids, not knowing her husband was spending his evenings in room 167 of the Marriott downtown. No, I said, I'll handle that myself. Patricia nodded. Just be careful. Don't make threats, don't harass, simply inform, provide evidence. Let her make her own decisions, understood? I left Patricia's office and sat in my car in the parking garage for 20 minutes. My hands were shaking, not from anger, not from fear, from adrenaline, from the simple reality that I just set something in motion that couldn't be stopped. I drove to Home Depot and bought new locks. Spent 2 hours installing them, changed every lock in the apartment. Door locks, deadbolts, chain locks. Jennifer's keys wouldn't work anymore. That night, she texted me. I think I'll stay through the weekend. My mom really needs me right now. She's having a hard time with some health stuff. I typed back, whatever you need, take your time. She sent me a heart emoji. I stared at it for a long time. Wondered if she felt anything when she sent it. Wondered if there was any part of her that felt guilty. Wondered if she thought about me at all when she was with him. Then I deleted the message and went to bed. I didn't go to the hotel Saturday. I didn't need to. Patricia's process server, Kim Ortega, was handling it, but I couldn't just sit in my apartment waiting either, so I went to the gym. I spent 2 hours lifting weights I had no business lifting. Bench press, squats, deadlifts, pushing my body until my muscles screamed, until I couldn't think about anything except the burn in my shoulders and the ache in my legs. I checked my phone every 10 minutes, nothing. At 1:55 p.m. I was sitting in my car in the gym parking lot staring at my phone. Patricia said she'd call me after it was done. Kim was supposed to serve the papers at 2 p.m. At 2:07 p.m. my phone rang. It's done, Patricia said. My heart was pounding. And Kim said, your wife answered the door in a hotel robe, white terry cloth, hair wet like she'd just showered. She looked confused at first, asked who Kim was. Kim identified herself as a legal process server and handed over the envelope. Your wife just stood there, didn't say anything, just stared at the papers. Did she open them? Kim said she started to, but then someone inside the room, presumably Mr. Walsh, asked what was wrong. Your wife told him to leave. He asked what was going on. She told him to get out, louder this time. That's when Kim left. Legal service was complete. Did Kim get video? Everything, body camera footage, audio, timestamps, it's all documented. I thanked Patricia and hung up for exactly 90 seconds. I felt nothing. Just sat there in my car, staring at the gym entrance, watching people walk in and out. Normal people doing normal Saturday things, working out, living their lives, not having their marriages implode in real time. Then my phone buzzed. Jennifer calling, I declined it. She called again immediately, I declined again. Then the texts started, please pick up. David, answer your phone, we need to talk. This isn't what you think. I turned off my phone and drove to the movie theater. Bought a ticket to whatever was playing next. Some superhero thing I didn't care about. Sat in the back row and stared at the screen for 2 hours without processing a single scene. When I came out, the sun was setting. I turned my phone back on. 43 missed calls, 37 text messages, 5 voicemails, 3 missed calls from a number I didn't recognize. Probably Trevor Walsh. I sat in my car and listened to the voicemails. First voicemail, timestamp 2:14 p.m. Baby, please just let me explain. I made a mistake. It's not what you think. It's complicated. Please call me back, please. Her voice was shaking, crying, the sound of someone whose world had just collapsed. Second voicemail, timestamp 2:31 p.m. David, you hired someone to follow me. Are you serious right now? You had someone serve me divorce papers at a hotel. This is insane. We need to talk about this like adults. Call me back. The crying was gone. Now she was angry, defensive, trying to flip the script and make me the bad guy for documenting her affair. Third voicemail, timestamp 3:08 p.m. Fine, don't answer. I'm coming home. We're going to fix this. Don't do anything stupid. Don't just wait for me. We can work this out. Fourth voicemail, timestamp 3:42 p.m. Your locks are changed. You changed the locks? Are you kidding me right now? Let me in. I live there too. This is illegal. You can't just lock me out. Fifth voicemail, timestamp 4:15 p.m. I called a lawyer. He said, you can't lock me out. I'm calling the police. This is illegal. I deleted all of them without replying. Then I called Dale. I need one more thing. I said, name it, Trevor Walsh, the guy she's with. I need his wife's contact information. Dale was quiet for a moment. You sure about that? Completely. Give me an hour. I drove to a burger place and ordered food I couldn't eat. Just pushed fries around on my plate while I waited for Dale's call. 45 minutes later, my phone buzzed with an email from Dale. Subject line, Trevor Walsh, contact info. Trevor Walsh's wife was named Amanda. She worked as a teacher at a middle school in Matthews. They lived in a nice subdivision with a HOA and a community pool. Dale included her phone number, email address, and Facebook profile. I opened Facebook and looked at her page. Amanda Walsh, 32 years old. Profile photo showed her with 2 kids, a boy and a girl, maybe 8 and 6 years old. Lots of posts about teaching and parent-teacher conferences and her kids' sports activities. Normal suburban mom living a normal suburban life, not knowing her husband was spending his evenings in room 167. I sat with that information for a long time. Thought about what it would mean to tell her. Thought about those 2 kids in the profile photo. Thought about blowing up another family just because mine was already burning. Then I remembered Jennifer's smile in that elevator photo. The way she'd touched his arm. The way she'd lied to my face for 3 months while I went to work and came home and acted like a husband because I thought I was one. I opened my email and composed a message. Mrs. Walsh, you don't know me, but we have something in common. My name is David Mitchell. I'm married to Jennifer Mitchell, or I was married to her. We're getting divorced. The reason we're getting divorced is because your husband and my wife have been meeting at the Marriott downtown for the past 3 months. Room 167, I've attached photos with timestamps. I thought you should know. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. I know it's painful. I'm living through it too. Regards, David Mitchell. I attached 6 of the clearest photos. Jennifer and Trevor in the lobby. Jennifer and Trevor in the elevator. Trevor's BMW in the parking lot. The hotel room door with 167 visible. Timestamps on everything. My finger hovered over the send button for a full minute. Then I pressed it. The email whooshed away. I sat there for another 10 minutes staring at my phone waiting for something. Some reaction, some indication that I'd just changed another person's life forever. Nothing happened. The world kept turning. People kept eating burgers. Cars kept driving past on the street outside. I drove home. Jennifer's car was parked outside our building. She was sitting in it, engine off, staring at the entrance. She saw me pull up, got out of her car and walked toward mine. I parked, got out, locked my car, started walking toward the building entrance. "David, please," Jennifer said behind me. I didn't turn around, just kept walking. "We need to talk." I reached the door, pulled out my new keys, unlocked it. "David, don't do this." I went inside and let the door close behind me. She tried to catch it, but the automatic lock clicked into place. I walked to the elevator, pressed the button. The doors opened immediately. I stepped inside. Jennifer was pounding on the glass entrance door. I could see her through the elevator's glass back wall as I rose up, getting smaller and smaller until she was just a figure in a parking lot. And then she was gone. Jennifer showed up at our apartment door at 7 now. I'd been home for 2 hours, changed into comfortable clothes, made dinner, microwaved leftover pasta because I couldn't be bothered to cook anything real. She pounded on the door for 10 minutes before I opened it. She looked terrible. Red eyes, no makeup, hair pulled back, and a messy ponytail. Still wearing the same clothes from the hotel, jeans and that green sweater. She tried to push past me. I blocked the doorway. "We need to talk," she said. "No, we don't." "David, please just let me explain." "There's nothing to explain. I saw the photos. I know where you've been. I know who you've been with." "What else is there?" Her face crumbled. Started crying again. "It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I don't even like him. It just happened. Things don't just happen. You made choices, deliberate choices for 3 months. How do you know it was 3 months?" "Because I'm not stupid, Jennifer. I checked the credit card statements. October, November, December. 3 months of charges at the Marriott. 3 months of lies." She wiped her eyes. "You went through our credit card statements?" "Our statements?" "My money, too. Half of every charge on there is mine. This is insane. You're being insane. I'm being rational. There's a difference." She tried a different approach. Changed her voice to soft, pleading. "David, we can work this out. We can go to counseling. We can fix this. 6 years of marriage doesn't just end like this. It does when one person spends 3 months in a hotel room with someone else. It meant nothing." "Then why did you do it?" She didn't have an answer for that, just stood there crying. "How long?" I asked. "What?" "How long have you been with Trevor?" The truth this time. She looked away, stared at the hallway carpet. 4 months. It started in September. 4 months, not 3. Even longer than I'd found evidence for. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "How did you meet him?" "At a dental conference in Raleigh. He was there for some pharmaceutical thing in the same hotel we met in the hotel bar." "And you exchanged numbers?" "Yes." "And you started texting?" "Yes." "And then you started meeting in Charlotte?" "Yes." "While I was at work?" "Yes." "While I was home making dinner and thinking everything was fine?" She didn't answer that one. "I want to work this out," Jennifer said quietly. "I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But I love you. I still love you." "No, you don't. I do. If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this. Love isn't something you say. It's something you do. And what you did was lie to me for 4 months while sleeping with someone else." I was confused. I felt trapped. I didn't know what I wanted. And now, Now I know I want to save our marriage. Too late, David. The papers are filed. Jennifer, it's done. You'll get served formally through your attorney when you hire one. Until then, don't contact me, don't come here, don't call me, don't text me, we're done. You can't just throw away 6 years. I'm not throwing away anything, you already did that. I'm just cleaning up the mess. I started to close the door. She jammed her foot in the gap. You sent those photos to Trevor's wife, didn't you? Her voice was shaking now, anger mixing with panic. Amanda called him screaming. She's filing for divorce too. He lost his kids. You destroyed his family. No, I said calmly. He did that himself. I just provided the evidence. Same thing I'm doing with our marriage. I'm not destroying anything. I'm documenting what was already destroyed. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference. What about me? What about my life? My job? Everyone's going to know. The hotel staff saw everything. Trevor's wife is going to tell everyone. This is going to ruin me. Should have thought of that before you booked room 167. I hate you, she said quietly. I don't care. I pulled the door closed, gently pushing her foot out of the way. She didn't resist this time, just stood in the hallway crying. I locked the door and walked away, turned off my phone, made myself tea, sat on the couch and stared at nothing for an hour. The next morning, Jennifer's mother called me. I turned my phone back on at 7 a.m. to check emails. 11 missed calls from Jennifer, 3 from numbers I didn't recognize, 1 from Mrs. Patterson, my mother-in-law. I almost didn't answer, but I was curious what she'd say. David, what on earth is going on? Mrs. Patterson's voice was sharp, accusatory. Jennifer is here crying, saying you filed for divorce. She said you had her followed. She said you served her at a hotel in front of strangers. That's all accurate. She said it's all a misunderstanding. It's not. She made a mistake, David. People make mistakes. You don't just throw away 6 years of marriage over one mistake. It wasn't one mistake, Mrs. Patterson. It was 4 months of mistakes, 4 months of deliberate choices, 4 months of lying to my face. She told me about the other man. She said it's over. She ended it. She wants to fix things. I don't. You're being unreasonable. No, I'm being rational. Your daughter had an affair. I documented it. I filed for divorce. That's not unreasonable. That's responding appropriately to betrayal. But Mrs. Patterson, with respect, this is between Jennifer and me. It's not your marriage. It's ours, or it was ours. Jennifer needs support right now. She's devastated. Then support her. But don't call me and tell me I'm wrong for divorcing someone who lied to me for 4 months. You're being cruel. Everyone keeps saying that, but nobody seems to think Jennifer was cruel for what she did. Interesting. I hung up before she could respond, blocked her number, blocked Jennifer's number, blocked the unknown numbers that were probably her friends or family trying to get through. Then I went to work. Brian cornered me during lunch that Monday. We were in the break room. I was microwaving leftover pizza. He was making coffee. Hey man, you okay? He asked. You seem really off lately. I'm getting divorced. His face fell. He stopped mid-pour. What, are you serious? Completely. What happened? Jennifer was having an affair. 4 months I found out. Filed for divorce. Brian didn't know what to say. His mouth opened and closed a few times. Finally, he managed. Jennifer, really? I mean, I always thought you guys were solid, so did I. I'm so sorry, man. I don't even know what to say. You don't have to say anything. It is what it is. If you need anything, if you want to talk or grab a beer, or I'm good, but thanks. Brian nodded and walked away, looking uncomfortable. I didn't blame him. There's no script for this kind of conversation. Nobody teaches you how to respond when someone tells you their marriage is ending. You just mumble platitudes and hope they're okay and feel awkward for days afterward. I ate my pizza and went back to work. Processed insurance claims, approved some, denied others. Normal Tuesday afternoon, normal life continuing despite everything falling apart. Patricia called me Tuesday evening with an update. Jennifer hired a lawyer, she said, Thomas Brennan. He's competent, been practicing family law for about 15 years. Not the best, not the worst. What's he saying? He filed a response contesting the grounds. Claims the adultery allegations are false or exaggerated. Standard defense strategy. We expected this. What does that mean for the case? It means we submit our evidence formally. Photos, location data, witness statements, hotel records. I've already prepared everything. We'll also depose Trevor Walsh if necessary. His deposition alone will probably be enough to make Jennifer's lawyer advise her to settle. When's the court date? Probably 6 weeks, maybe 8. Judge Meyer is handling it. She's fair but tough. Doesn't like liars, doesn't like cheaters. If the evidence is as strong as I think it is, we'll be fine. How strong is it? On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 9. The only way it could be stronger is if we had video of them in the actual room, and we don't need that. The pattern alone is damning. Same hotel, same room, multiple nights, both married to other people. No jury would buy a defense. Are we going to trial? Probably not. Once Brennan sees our evidence package, he'll advise Jennifer to settle. Going to trial would only make things worse for her. More public, more expensive, more humiliating. Good. One more thing. Patricia said Trevor Walsh's wife filed for divorce yesterday. She cited your evidence in her filing. Used the same photos. Walsh's lawyer tried to suppress it, claiming it was obtained illegally. Judge rejected the motion. Your evidence is admissible in both cases. So I basically destroyed 2 marriages. No, they destroyed their own marriages. You just documented it. Everyone keeps saying I'm cruel. You're not cruel, you're thorough. There's a difference. I thanked Patricia and hung up. That night I couldn't sleep. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything. About Jennifer, about Trevor Walsh, about Amanda Walsh and her 2 kids, about the ripple effect of one decision. My decision to check location data and how it had led to all of this. But I didn't feel guilty, didn't feel regret, just felt numb, like I was watching my life happen from a distance. I got up at 2 a.m. and made myself scrambled eggs, ate them standing at the kitchen counter. Thought about how I used to make breakfast for both of us. How Jennifer liked her eggs over easy with toast. How we'd sit at the table together on weekends and read our phones and drink coffee and be comfortable in our silence. How all of that was gone now. How it had been gone for 4 months and I just hadn't known it. Jennifer tried to contact me 17 more times over the next 2 weeks. Calls, texts, emails, even a letter delivered to my office by courier. I ignored all of it. Patricia had advised me not to communicate except through lawyers. I followed her advice. The letter said, David, I know you're angry. I know I hurt you, but please, can we just talk just once? I need you to understand what happened. I need you to know that I never stopped loving you. Please, Jay. I shredded it and threw it away. Trevor Walsh showed up at my apartment on a Wednesday evening 2 weeks after I'd served Jennifer. I opened the door to find him standing there looking like he hadn't slept in days. Dark circles under his eyes, unshaven hair messy. He was taller than I expected from the photos, 6'2", maybe 63. Better looking too in that generic way pharmaceutical sales guys are supposed to be. Square jaw, good teeth, expensive watch. Are you David? He asked. Yes, I'm Trevor, I know. We stood there for a moment, sizing each other up. He looked like he wanted to punch me. I looked like I was ready to let him try. You ruined my life, he said finally. No, you did that yourself. You sent those photos to my wife. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. Why? What did I ever do to you? I almost laughed. You really asking me that question? I didn't know you. I didn't know Jennifer was married. She told me she was separated. She said her husband was just don't. I know she lied to you. I don't care. You were married too. You have kids. You knew what you were doing. Trevor ran his hand through his hair. He looked exhausted. I made a mistake. I get that. But sending those photos to Amanda, my kids won't talk to me now. My daughter is 8 years old and she won't even look at me. My son asks why I don't live at home anymore, and I don't know what to tell him. That's unfortunate. You don't care at all, do you? Why would I? You slept with my wife for 4 months. You think I'm supposed to feel bad because your kids are upset? My entire life got destroyed too. Difference is I didn't do anything wrong. I get it, you're angry. But did you have to tell Amanda? Did you have to blow up my whole family? Yes. Why? Because she deserved to know the truth. Same as I deserve to know. You think she wanted to keep living a lie? You think your kids are better off with parents who lie to each other? Trevor stared at me. I'm living in an extended stay hotel. I haven't seen my kids in 2 weeks. Amanda's lawyer is threatening to take everything. My job is asking questions because I used a company car. My whole life is falling apart again. Unfortunate, not my problem. You're a cold person, you know that. I'm a rational person, there's a difference. He shook his head slowly. I came here I don't know, to see if we could talk. To see if maybe you'd consider telling Amanda it was all a misunderstanding or something. It wasn't a misunderstanding. You had an affair with my wife. That's a fact. I'm not lying to your wife so you can feel better about yourself. I guess I just thought what? That I'd sympathize, that we'd bond over both being victims of Jennifer. You're not a victim. You're a participant. You made choices. Now you're dealing with consequences. Trevor stood there for another moment, looking defeated. Then he turned and walked away. I watched him get into his silver BMW, the same BMW from the photos, and drive off. I closed the door and went back to my life. Patricia called me 4 weeks into the process with good news. Jennifer's lawyer had tried to negotiate a settlement. 50-50 split on everything, no fault determination, clean break. Patricia had rejected it. Why? I asked. Because we can do better. Your evidence is airtight. Once we get to court, Judge Meyer will rule in your favor. I'm confident we can get a 70-30 split, maybe 60-40 at minimum. Plus attorney's fees. How much are we talking? You'd walk away with about $40,000 from the joint assets, plus her paying your legal fees. She'd get about $15,000 and have to pay her own lawyer. Plus the car loan would be refinanced in her name alone. And if we settle now, you'd both get about $27,000 and split the legal fees. You'd still share the car loan responsibility. So we go to court. That's my recommendation. The court date was set for October 15th, 6 weeks after I'd served her at the hotel. It felt both too fast and too slow. Jennifer tried one more time to contact me directly. She showed up at my office during lunch 3 weeks before the court date. Security called me before letting her up. I told them to turn her away. She left without incident, but not before leaving a note with the security guard. The note said, "I'm sorry. I'll always be sorry. I hope someday you can forgive me." I threw it away without responding. Dale sent me his final bill the same week, $2,300 total. I paid it immediately and added a $300 tip. Best money I'd ever spent. The divorce hearing was on a Tuesday, October 15th. Clear, cold morning. I wore a suit. Patricia met me outside the courthouse at 8:45 a.m. "Ready?" she asked. "Yes, remember, don't speak unless the judge asks you a direct question. Let me handle everything. If you're asked about the affair, be factual. No emotion, just facts." "Understood." We walked inside. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, American flag in the corner. Judge Meyer was already at the bench reviewing documents. Jennifer sat on the opposite side with her lawyer, Thomas Brennan. She looked thin, tired, older somehow. She was wearing a conservative dress, minimal makeup, hair pulled back, her attempt at looking respectable for the judge. She glanced at me once. I didn't look away, just stared back until she broke eye contact and looked down at the table. Judge Meyer called the case. Patricia presented our evidence systematically, photos projected onto a screen, timestamps clearly visible, location data, hotel records Patricia had subpoenaed showing room 167 booked under Trevor Walsh's name on 23 separate occasions between September and December. Text messages from Jennifer to Trevor that her lawyer had been forced to produce during discovery. Miss you already, can't wait for tonight. He's working late again. We have the whole evening. Credit card statements showing charges at the Marriott, dinner charges, room service charges, all on dates. Jennifer had told me she was working late or visiting friends or running errands. Patricia walked through everything methodically, built the case piece by piece, made it impossible to deny. Brennan tried to argue that the affair was a symptom of marital problems, not a cause. That I had been emotionally distant, that Jennifer had felt neglected, that the marriage was already broken. Judge Meyer cut him off. Counselor, I don't care about symptoms. I care about choices. Your client made choices. Those choices constituted adultery under North Carolina law. Those choices have consequences. That's what we're here to determine. Not whether Mr. Mitchell was a perfect husband, whether Mrs. Mitchell committed adultery, and based on this evidence, she clearly did. Brennan sat down. Judge Meyer asked me 3 questions. Mr. Mitchell, did you hire a private investigator to follow your wife? Yes, Your Honor. Why? Because she told me she was visiting her mother in Tampa, but her phone location showed she was at a hotel in Charlotte. I wanted to know why. And when you received the evidence of her affair, what did you do? I filed for divorce. Thank you. She asked Jennifer 2 questions. Mrs. Mitchell, did you have an extramarital affair with Trevor Walsh? Jennifer's voice was barely audible. Yes, Your Honor. For how long? 4 months. Thank you. Judge Meyer reviewed her notes for what felt like an eternity. Finally, she looked up. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff. Assets will be divided 70-30 in Mr. Mitchell's favor based on Mrs. Mitchell's admitted fault. Mrs. Mitchell will be responsible for refinancing the joint car loan into her name alone within 90 days. Mrs. Mitchell will pay Mr. Mitchell's attorney fees in full. The marriage is dissolved effective immediately. She signed the papers, handed them to her clerk. We're done here. Jennifer started crying. Her lawyer put his hand on her shoulder. She shook it off and stood up, walking quickly out of the courtroom. I sat there for a moment, feeling nothing, just a strange emptiness where all the anger used to be. Patricia shook my hand. Congratulations, you won. Thanks. What are you going to do now? I thought about it. Move. Get a new place. Start over. Good plan. You've got 30 days to divide the remaining personal property. After that, whatever hasn't been claimed can be disposed of. I nodded. We walked out of the courthouse together. Bright October sunshine, cool air, the smell of autumn leaves. I got in my car and drove back to my office. Finished out the workday, approved some claims, denied others. Normal Tuesday afternoon. That evening I started packing Jennifer's remaining things. There wasn't much left. She'd taken most of her clothes when she'd gone to her mother's place. What remained felt like artifacts from someone else's life. A sweater I'd bought her for Christmas 2 years ago. A coffee mug from our honeymoon in Myrtle Beach. A book she'd never finished reading. Some toiletries from the bathroom. A photo album from our wedding. I stacked everything in boxes and left them by the door. Texted her from Patricia's office phone since I'd blocked her number. Your things are packed. Pick them up this week or I'm donating them, she replied an hour later. I'll come by Saturday morning. Fine, I won't be here. Key will be with the building manager. Saturday morning I went to the gym. Spent 3 hours there, weights, cardio, steam room. When I got back, the boxes were gone. In their place was a note. I'm sorry for everything. I hope you find happiness. I hope someday you can forgive me. I'll always love you, even if you don't believe that. Jay, I crumpled it up and threw it away. 3 weeks after the divorce was finalized, I got an email from an unfamiliar address. Subject line: Thank you. I almost deleted it, assumed it was spam, but something made me open it. Mr. Mitchell, you don't know me, but I wanted to reach out. I'm Amanda Walsh. You sent me photos of my husband several months ago. I want you to know that I filed for divorce and it's been finalized. I got full custody of our kids. Trevor has supervised visitation every other weekend. I'm grateful you told me the truth. It was painful but necessary. Nobody should have to live a lie. I hope you're doing okay. Nobody deserves what we went through. If you ever need someone to talk to who understands, my number is below. No pressure, just an offer from someone who's been there. Sincerely, Amanda Walsh. I read the email twice, stared at her phone number for a long time, thought about calling, thought about having someone to talk to who actually understood what this felt like. Then I closed the email and deleted it. Not because I didn't appreciate the gesture, but because I didn't need to talk about it, didn't need to process it with someone else, didn't need closure or understanding or shared trauma. I just needed to move forward. I found a new apartment in November, 1-bedroom, 7th floor, better part of town, signed a year lease. The landlord asked if anyone else would be on the lease. I said, no, just me. I bought new furniture, new dishes, new sheets, new towels. Made the place feel like mine, not ours. Hung up one photo on the wall, a picture of the Blue Ridge Mountains I'd taken on a camping trip 5 years ago before Jennifer. Before marriage, when I'd been just me. Work continued. Claims came in. I processed them. Some people got their money, some didn't. The world kept turning. Brian invited me to a Hornets game in December. I said yes. We drank overpriced beer and watched Charlotte lose by 8 points. It was a perfectly mediocre evening. I enjoyed it more than I'd enjoyed anything in months. I thought about dating but didn't pursue it. Thought about traveling but didn't book anything. Mostly I just worked and went to the gym and watched basketball and lived my life. It was quiet, simple, mine. One evening in late December, I was walking through the grocery store when I saw her. Jennifer. She was in the frozen food aisle staring at a display of pizzas like they held the meaning of life. She looked different, hair shorter, new coat. She'd lost weight, too much weight probably. She hadn't seen me yet. I could have turned around, gone down a different aisle, avoided the whole thing. That would have been the easy choice. Instead, I walked past her. Didn't slow down, didn't stop. Just walked by like she was any other person in the grocery store. She looked up as I passed. Our eyes met for exactly 1 second. I nodded once, just a basic acknowledgement, the kind you'd give to a sea orca or a neighbor or anyone else you vaguely recognized. Her mouth opened like she was going to say something. I kept walking, got to the end of the aisle, turned the corner, didn't look back. My heart was pounding, but not from anger. Just from the simple recognition that she was a stranger now. Someone I used to know, someone who used to matter, someone who didn't anymore. I finished my shopping, bought milk, eggs, bread, vegetables, normal grocery trip, went home, made dinner, watched a game, went to bed at a reasonable hour. Life went on, and that was fine. 6 months after the divorce, I got a piece of mail forwarded from my old address. Small envelope, handwritten, no return address. Inside was a hotel key card, the Marriott downtown written on the back in Jennifer's handwriting, room 167. No note, no explanation, just the key card and a room number. I stared at it for a long time, tried to figure out what it meant, an apology, a taunt, some symbolic gesture I was supposed to understand. Then I realized I didn't care. I threw it in the trash and went about my day. Some people need closure, need the big confrontation, need the dramatic final scene where everything gets explained and everyone understands everyone else and people cry and hug and forgive. I didn't need any of that. She wanted space. I gave it to her legally, permanently, exactly the kind of space you can't come back from. Room 167 was where she went looking for something she thought was missing. What she found instead was the exact moment her marriage ended. And I was the one who made sure she knew it. Not with rage, not with violence, not with anything dramatic or cinematic or satisfying in the way movies make revenge look, just with documentation, evidence, legal procedure. The cold, mechanical process of ending something that was already over. The Marriott on Trade Street is still there. Room 167 still rents to people who have no idea what happened inside it. The world moves on. Hotels don't remember, buildings don't hold grudges, but I do. I remember everything with perfect clarity. Not because I'm angry, not because I want revenge. I already got that. I remember because I learned something valuable. People lie, people cheat, people make choices they think they can hide. But everything leaves a trace. Every decision has a consequence. Every action creates a reaction. Jennifer wanted freedom. She wanted excitement. She wanted whatever Trevor Walsh represented in his pharmaceutical sales suits and his company BMW and his hotel room bookings. What she got was divorce papers delivered at 2:07 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon while wearing a hotel robe. What I got was my life back. Fair trade.